Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1985's Taboo 4. 1985's Taboo 4. Here it is, folks. Wow, what an awesome cover. And this is Blu-ray and DVD by Vinegar Syndrome. Okay, right there. Taboo 4, 1985. This is the fourth one, and the last one, I believe, that was released theatrically. And in this particular one, we include two younger girl characters of Ginger Lynn and Karen Summer. We also have Jaimie Gillis in this film as well as John Leslie. So we have an all-star lineup in here. But all the Taboo films had a lot of great X-rated stars from the golden age. This one really kind of ups the ante with some bigger names. And we also bring in Joey Silvera. We also bring back Kevin James. So we're having a lot of people. Of course, we still have Honey Wilder in here as well. And so we're going to enter into this film. Unbelievably so, all four of these Taboo films have been made by a husband and wife duo. Isn't that amazing? I have notes here, so you're going to see my eyes divert. Let's enter into this film. Let's enter into the music. Let's enter into the world. Let's enter into the feels, the vibes, the themes, the storyline, the characters, everything. And I will tell you right off the bat that all these Taboo films right here, folks, have superb acting and just an elegance to them in the professionalism of the movie-making world. We have a theme, a synth theme in this film, 80s electric guitar. Right off the bat here, we have this great driving car intro, just like a driving intro for the beginning of Taboo 2. And we have an interesting element entering into this film here that I believe really beautifully ties in, you know, the kind of the three previous Taboo films and kind of ending in here with Taboo 4. We have a psychologist in this film who specifically talks about incest and what causes incest. Is it because of sexual promiscuity? Is it because of adultery? Or is it a lack of discipline in the family? Okay, we have this great radio station interview. It just looks awesome. Reminds me a bit of, Romero's Dawn of the Dead. You know, just the radio station. I love radio stations. I think there was even a Tales from the Dark Side episode with Ben Stiller's father. What's his name? Jerry Stiller, something like that, where he turns into the devil or something. It was a radio station. One of the episodes, I believe it was Tales from the Dark Side. I just love radio stations. Just the vibe, the red glow, you know, on air, the whole thing. Jaimie Gillis in this film is mostly all non-sex. He has excellent acting in Taboo 4. He is, you know, he has tormented emotions, and he's professional. He's excellent, believable, honest, real, and raw. We have an intro telling the story of Taboo in a montage-like way, you know, with paced editing and filling in gaps of dialogue with brand new scenes. Very, very interesting. We go to the location of a private girls' school in this film, and two sisters, and the differences between two sisters. When two sisters, you know, are raised by the same family, and how they can be different. Just like we had brothers in Taboos 1 through 3, now we have two sisters, which is very interesting. We're really focusing on sisters in this one. We have a sex scene involving a girl that could quite possibly be faking that she is asleep, starting off with some incestuous behavior right at the beginning of the film, hot lesbian type incestuous behavior. We have synth in this film, 80s synth and mixing with hand percussion, funky jazzy 80s synth. We go back to voyeurism as a vibe in this film as well. Incest with sisters and great intercourse butt shots in this film as well. We have a support group in this film that is focusing on incest. And is, you know, one of my questions at the support group is there sexual tension at the support group? You know, is there sexual tension in there? That's interesting. The mother and son from part 2. you know, connecting all three taboos before it, and connecting into the current storyline. You know, what great sequel consistency between taboos 1 to 4. We have scenes from part 2 revisited in this film, secrets between two brothers in this film, and the lies in there. We listen to support group incests, stories, and confessions. And listening to a support group giving their stories of, you know, painful, shameful experiences with incest, is it a turn on? It might be to two of the characters in the film. Adultery is looked at in this film when you have children. Okay, so adultery when children are involved. We have dramatic synth in this film, which there's a definite atmosphere in here. Marriage is something that is looked at, and it's lopsided between the husband and the wife. It is lopsided. The kids are reflecting parents individually. We have a psychologist in this film who's reviewing Kay Parker from part 1, linking this psychologist to all three films. It's like watching the Saw series, people. And we get scenes from part 1 as well, just expertly done. We do have, as I mentioned, the lopsided marriage, and we have the pains of marriage. We have a theater acting group, and I believe that the people that made this film, the husband and wife, have some of their kids are in this scene in the background or something. And we have the power of the theater acting teacher. Neon lighting and shadows are back again. Like we saw them in Taboo 3. We saw the shadows in Taboo 2. We saw the focus play in Taboo 1, and now we come back to neon lighting and shadows, just like Taboo 3. There's a very interesting sex scene in here detailing acting versus role-playing versus improv with real sex. You got that? Very, very interesting. Almost looking at the real nature of what makes a sex film, what makes a hardcore sex film. Very, very interesting, almost turning it in on itself to the movie that we are watching. We have great close-up vagina shots in this film. 80s pop rock score within the synth, heavy 80s synth, great stuff. We have incest fantasies in this film. We have an uncle and his niece in this film. We have an amazing neon shower scene with 80s balladry work and soapy bubbles over the naked body. And fantasies, shower fantasies. What makes two kids from the same parents different? What makes two kids from the same parents different? What makes a good father-daughter relationship? We have a moral child, quote unquote, you know, and a loose child. We have a moral brother and a loose brother. We have sex while voyeurism is happening. To put it in place with the movie that we're actually watching, Taboo 4, it would be like popping on Taboo 4, possibly, while you're having sex with your partner and you're watching Taboo 4 as well, right? So we have that in the film too, but in a much more real and much more incestuous fashion. Sex while voyeurism. We have incest in this film with unknown different levels. This is a very complex film. Taboo 4 is a very complicated film because just like the other films, there are secrets and revelations of those secrets, but in this particular film, wow, the secrets are getting more and more complicated in many different levels. We have support group fantasies coming to life, masturbation with a dildo, a great bass score, 80s jazz, with, I believe, the line, "Love made a fool of me," end quote. The inner fantasies of a moral person. What are the inner fantasies of a moral person? Can a conservative, moral, sexually just a sexually conservative person, do they have sexual fantasies, and what are they, and how are they different than somebody who's quote-unquote loose? We have a record player playing disco vibes. We have 70s, 80s vibes with the disco, with a song that uses the line, playing with fire, secret desires. You know, the music in all the 4 Taboo films really does play very much so in line with, you know, the story elements of the film, the drama that's going on in the movie itself. You know, there is such complexity, and I don't want to give things away, but there are such twists and turns in this film with with the things that are being revealed, you know, involving marriage, involving adultery, involving children, involving lies and secrets and freedom and repression, and then complete flow of all of your feelings. There's a lot of conflict in this film, and boy, are there soap opera-like complex, like the Saw series, secrets amidst the characters. This is a film of characters, you know, once again. And there's a wild sex scene in here as well, involving somebody who wants to see somebody have sex. Somebody who's never been in an incestuous relationship, they get off on watching somebody in having sex with a blood relative, and then they'll have sex with them afterwards. It's a wild, wild scene. The ending of Taboo 4 really mimics the vulnerability in the ending of Part 1. Or just the vulnerability in general of Part 1, of Taboo 1. We have a very tormented struggle visualized in this film non-verbally by Jaimie Gillis near the end of this film, with another one of the twists that happen. We have funk and disco and synth, and we have a surreal, abrupt, interesting, bizarre, romantic, wedding vow related climax to Taboo 4 that is just dumbfounding and dangerous and interesting and unexpected. You know, if you had any doubts in your mind that Jaimie Gillis was, you know, a great actor, Taboo 4 is going to show it to you. And he only has one sex scene in the film, and it's not even that long. He is, you know, Ginger Lynn is fantastic in here. Again, non-verbally, again, she's great as well. Her eyes, her facial expressions. Karen Summer just has, you know, just unbelievable freedom as her character. And we have a focus in Taboo 4 with younger girls in the film. But we still also have the elements of the older moms as well, and a bit of play between possibly some insecurity with an older woman and around younger, harder, you know, better-bodied younger women. You know, the Taboo series really does play a lot with age and sexuality within age. You know, the schoolgirl versus the MILF, and all of the aspects thereof in an incestuous world. So Taboo 4 brings it back to the schoolgirl type vibe of Taboo 2 to me. This rounds up the series here, folks, for Taboo 4. This is 1985's Taboo 4. Very complicated film in the series with lots of characters and lots of freaking secrets. There it is, folks. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Taboo 1, 2, 3, 4. Check out all 4 of the Taboo videos, and please feel free to check out my own personal films from youtube.com/poopy, Poopy, diarrhea. Thank you so much, and good night.